Carrie Lukas is the managing director of the Independent Women's Forum. And where on earth is Carrie today?
I am in Brussels, Belgium.
Brussels, Belgium. Holy cow. Now, there's a hospital center down in Texas, correct me if I'm wrong on this, that has said that if a woman who is 5'5", weighs over 210 pounds, they will not hire her. They're going to discriminate against the obese or against people who are overweight. And their rationale is that it sets a bad example for patients who should not get overweight. And, there's really no good science that suggests that seeing fat people on the one hand, or just pumped up people, going to the gym and seeing a trainer who's looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, used to look anyway, is going to cause any kind of radical change in anybody's behavior. So what's the deal with this?
Yeah, Tom, I think we may agree on this one. This is definitely, I think, you can understand what the hospital's trying to do, but I think it's a really faulty and poor execution of trying to set a good example. And you're absolutely right that I don't think that there's any correlation between the idea of seeing somebody in a staff position or someone in the medical field and saying, oh, okay, well then I'm going to go and overeat because it must be okay because they're doing it, and then also BMI is a very faulty measure of health. And I do think that fixating on some of these data points can really lead us in the wrong direction. That people can be at different weights and be healthy. People who are really muscular can have a higher BMI. I know that there's been statistics or studies done showing that a lot of football players or top athletes would actually fail some of these BMI tests because they're heavier, because they're stronger.
Right. So for people who don't know what you're talking about, BMI is body mass index.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay. And it's a relationship between the mass of your body and the size of your body.
Yeah, and it's become one of those measurements that is, when the government is trying to encourage healthy behavior, they use that as a measurement, not just
as a guideline.
As a guideline, exactly, and even talking about forcing doctors to talk to kids, and really, I think in some ways, I worry that it's going to stigmatize this. We already have, I think, a real problem where we've made it so important to not be fat that it's a lot of people who are overweight feel really bad about themselves, and I don't think that is actually helping them lead healthier lifestyles. And I worry that this fixation on this number could cause more problems rather than solve them.
I personally think we just need to stop subsidizing corn and thus get the high fructose corn syrup out of our diet, and we will end up like other countries that don't use high fructose corn syrup and won't have as many fat people or overweight people. But that's just my personal conspiracy theory du jour. Let me get this straight, though, Carrie. You're suggesting that this hospital should not be allowed to discriminate against overweight people?
Tom, I don't want to say aloud, and I think that's one of the things that I agree with you on the corn thing too. I think that there's a lot of areas of agreement between conservative like me and a liberal like you on this one. But I do want to be careful in saying that particularly on private hospitals, I think they can set their hiring policies. But I think this is a bad one. I don't know that it's that I think that it should be the government shouldn't be in the role of dictating all these decisions on hiring. But I really think that this is the kind of thing we should discourage, and I don't think that that it's a good idea what Texas is trying to do. But
so, in the Nixon-Kennedy debates, famously, the question was asked to both candidates: what should we do about the fact that African Americans are not allowed to eat at lunch counters in the South? And Richard Nixon said, "Well, what I would do is I would get the presidents of the chain stores, the Woolworths and the Walgreens and whatnot of the day, I would get them together in a room and I would try and convince them that it's not the right thing that they're doing by having these discrimination policies." And then they went to John Kennedy, and John Kennedy said, I would send the Justice Department to inform them that they are breaking the law. And that was the principal difference between Nixon and Kennedy in that issue, is that Nixon wanted it to be voluntary. Are you suggesting that discrimination against fat people or overweight people or people with high BMIs or whatever you want to call it, that kind of discrimination is something that should be perfectly legal, but that you just don't like it?
Well, it's already, Tom. I mean, it's already legal. I mean, you can on television shows, and there's a whole lot of and gymnasiums. There's a lot of places where it is perfectly legal to discriminate based on looks, based on weight, based on a lot of factors that.
But we're talking about a hospital.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think it seems, on a legal basis, I think it's a stretch, but I don't know that it should be cross the threshold of being totally illegal, that the government.
But you're willing to entertain the notion that big government should make it illegal.
Well, Tom, I think that we have, this is something that, first of all, nobody is debating this. This is one of those questions where, even if you believe in a much less regulated society, this is not something that's on the table. So it's kind of a pointless conversation. But I wish that this stuff was.
To take the gotcha out of it, because, Carrie, you want a big government. I mean, it's a gotcha question. But to actually, kind of turn it into a more rational conversation, isn't there a point where the public good is helped and individuals, particularly in minority groups, are hurt when we the people, when society, when the government, when we the people don't offer some sort of protection to those minority groups?
Absolutely. And I think that it is one of those balancing acts, because I do think that we can all say that absolutely that sometimes government is able to do good things by making laws and preventing things like discrimination, but those often do come at a cost. And I think that even when we think about some of the good things that the government's been able to do in outlawing discrimination, there's often, we've got to think carefully about it.
But what about discrimination based? I get it. If you're trying out for a movie and the role calls, for a person.
But I mean, Tom, in the same way that we agree that there's speech, and something like white supremacist type speech, we all think this is super bad.
No, I'm talking about discrimination in the workplace. I mean, Hooters is not going to hire me, right?
Sure.
So
no, absolutely.
And I'm not going to bring a suit against them. But a hospital is, it's a place of public facility, and for a hospital to say, and frankly, I would submit to you, Carrie, that there are probably a lot of employers in America who won't hire obese people, and it's just plain old bigotry. It's a particular type of bigotry. They for whatever reason, and I think the primary reason would be that there's a stigma associated with being overweight in our society, and they would rather have, attractive, in quotes, right? Because there are some people who think overweight people are attractive, but some employers don't. And is this, now that we're learning more and more that things like being grossly obese, morbidly obese, typically are not the result of lifestyle choices, that there is something going on with people's body, or there is something going on with our society, like high fructose corn syrup in our diets.
Yeah.
Isn't it appropriate then to begin protecting those people with laws against discrimination?
Well, I think, I don't want to. I think that we can solve this problem more on a cultural basis.
In other words, no.
Well, yeah. I think that we should. Yeah, I don't think we've reached that threshold yet. Although I agree with you that this is bad. But there's a lot of bad things that go on that government isn't the right solution to, or more government's not going to be the best way to solve it.
Okay. Carrie Lukas, the managing director of the Independent Women's Forum, IWF.org. Carrie, say hello to Europe for me.
I sure will. Thanks so much, Tom.
Thanks a lot for the call, and good talking with you.